Have you ever had that nagging sensation of unease in a relationship where something just doesn't seem right? Perhaps it's a shift in their conduct or the way they begin to overprotect their phone. For 8 months, I had that feeling with my girlfriend. My instincts told me something was wrong, but every time I brought it up, she dismissed it, claiming I was being paranoid. Despite my best efforts to trust her, my worries persisted. Eventually, I discovered the truth. She was cheating on me with her tattoo artist. After everything, I did the only thing I thought I could. I blocked her. I caught my girlfriend cheating on me with her tattoo artist. I ultimately finished it after gathering the most conclusive proof. I'd been wary of her for 8 months because she gradually stopped showing me affection and wouldn't even hold my hand when we strolled around stores. When I asked her why her tattoo artist was contacting her over dinner at 8:15 or 8:30 p.m., she instantly denied it and turned her phone to silent mode. She stammered a little, saying he probably wanted to check on how her new tattoo was healing. I asked why he called so late at night after store hours, and she became enraged, accusing me of cheating. I hadn't stated anything of the such. I simply felt it was unusual. She became angry, and I slept on the couch for a week. Toward the end of the week, I noticed some texts on her phone, a notification pop up when her screen was turned on. I read text messages from him telling her horrible things about her body and how much he missed her. She never shut him down or blocked him, making me feel she was watching him behind my back. I claimed I hadn't seen them so she wouldn't accuse me of looking through her phone. The final straw came when I came over for the weekend. We didn't live together and alternated visiting each other's homes. She must have neglected to change her phone backdrop, because when I moved her phone while shaving in the bathroom, I noticed a picture of him with the caption, "I love you so much." When I challenged her about it, she called me delusional and said I was making it up, until I showed her the image I had taken with my phone. She just sat there silently. When I returned to begin packing my belongings, she started crying and asked, "What will you tell your family?" I told her the truth. It shouldn't matter to her. If she cared, she wouldn't have cheated on me in the first place. As I pulled out of her driveway, she dared to email my family group chat, claiming she loved them and would no longer be in their lives, without explaining why. That left me explaining everything to my family while driving, on the edge of tears. It's been 3 days and I'm still absorbing everything. I took Friday off from work and went to the gym for 2.5 hours, but other than that, I've just been sitting here listening to music and thinking what I might have done to keep her faithful. I don't know what to do but go to work, exercise, and attempt to get enough sleep. My cousin, who I mentioned in previous responses, works with her ex. He told her that she cheated on him in the past, which is why they split up. My cousin kept an eye on her and his Facebook sites and discovered this morning that they are now publicly in a relationship. I forwarded the information to my family and our mutual friends, and my best friend is leaving evaluations for his tattoo shop, which he co-owns. I hope it affects them. She texted me, stating she felt terrible and was the wrong person. She said he had no idea about us, and when she informed him, his primary concern was if we were wholly split up or on break. She kept apologizing, stating she didn't mean to harm me in the way she did. I just told her that I'd been ill to my stomach for the past week and a half and that sorry wouldn't change that. Then I blocked her. It's infuriating how she could offer all these excuses when I simply asked honest questions and then turned the tables to make me feel terrible for thinking something. What about the whole he was checking on my tattoo at night thing? She was fully aware of what she had done, but rather than admitting it, she preferred to seem like the victim to everyone else. I'm glad I handled it with my family and clarified the facts.
Second story. Is it wrong for me to want to divorce my spouse after realizing he was having an affair with my sister? My sister, 32, came in with me after becoming pregnant 5 months ago from what she claimed was a one-night encounter. I adore my sister, so of course I took her in. My spouse has been gone for 6 months, so having her around was really lovely because I adore her. On Monday, I arrived home to find my sister and a strange woman screaming on my porch. I had no idea what was going on, but when I noticed the woman prodding my pregnant sister's shoulder, I intervened. I sent my sister inside, and she begged me to send the woman leave. I wasn't sure what was happening, but I wanted the argument to end, so I requested the woman go. The woman began ranting, demanding if I was also sleeping with her husband. I was astonished when she confessed that my sister had been having an affair with her husband for 5 years. She had it all: messages, images, emails, and receipts. It wasn't reassuring to witness, but a few things were obvious. My sister knew this woman, his wife, and she was the mistress, and she was okay with it. This stay-at-home mother has 4 children, one of whom is severely disabled due to a vehicle accident. Her husband knew of my sister's pregnancy and even took her on a baby moon to celebrate. Despite his falsehoods, my sister had convinced herself that he would eventually leave his wife for her, totally accepting the other woman's role and emotionally committed to the relationship. I apologized to the woman and informed her that I had no knowledge of this, but I requested her to leave since I did not want the situation to escalate or involve the police. She was outraged, but she gave me her phone number on a post-it note and begged me not to let her husband remain at my place. I informed her that no mail would be entering my home. Inside, my sister begged me not to believe the woman, referring to her as a vindictive ex-wife. So I proposed that we look up their marriage records online to see if there was a request for divorce. This sparked a heated debate, with my sister declaring I'd never understand that they loved each other, but he couldn't leave his wife. I informed her that she was crazy and selfish. The next day, I told her she may stay because I didn't want her to be a financial burden to that woman, but I also told her I did not want to engage with her now. My sister asked if I still loved her, and I told her the truth. I can't say I do right now. I'll always aid my nephew and keep her safe, but I can't trust her because she has proven untrustworthy. I told her I didn't trust her not to do something with my husband, and to be honest, I don't trust her with anything anymore, so I had her sign a rental agreement. She begged me to forgive her, but I told her there was nothing to forgive. I simply don't know who she is anymore. I don't believe I'm at fault here. I'm merely attempting to protect my nephew while establishing boundaries for what I will and will not tolerate in my home. I have made it evident to my sister that she is responsible for her future decisions. I've set up a fair and stable environment where she can face the consequences of her behavior without pulling me deeper into her mess. First, I'd like to clarify a few points. I'm not going to tell my sister to give up her baby. It is not my place, and I would never advise it. I won't put tracking software on her phone or demand device access. That is intrusive and inappropriate. I've done a lot of thinking, and while I can't say I don't love my sister, it isn't easy to feel it right now. I don't recognize her anymore. It's not just the lying, it's what she did and how certain she is that she was justified because they were in love. She caused turmoil in my home, which I had opened up to her, and I am dissatisfied. I wouldn't say I like her now, but I'm letting her stay because I don't want her to rely on him. He's not a decent man, and as a social worker, I've seen far too many examples of dependency that worsen with time. I haven't punished my sister, but I've been treating her like a roommate, which is driving her insane. She constantly pleads with me to return to normalcy, but I tell her it will take time and that things cannot be restored quickly. She finally described what had happened, revealing that she knew he was married but convinced herself that she could see how miserable he was and that he deserved to be happy. They met in a bar a few weeks after his son's injury. He told her that his wife had not touched him since the accident, and he felt like he was going to burst. When I asked why she would get involved with a married man, knowing the consequences, she stated she wanted to be a good wife and mother, including his children. She wished he would divorce his wife so they could all go on and be happy together. I gazed at her, unable to understand how she could justify it. A few days later, he arrived at our house, claiming he had left his wife and wanted to be with my sister. I quickly told him he had to leave, or I would call the cops. My sister was enraged, accusing me of destroying her chance at happiness. I warned her that if he returned, she would be evicted. She is accessible to date whomever she chooses outside my roof. I also showed that she needed her apartment to keep him around once the baby was born. Our community has learned about the affair. While we were grocery shopping, a woman spat on my sister. Many of her friends have cut ties, labeling her a homewrecker. Some of them are married and don't want her around their husbands. I have never said, "I told you so." Not once. We unexpectedly stumbled across his wife at a nearby cafe. My sister wanted to apologize and recommend that they all have a healthy relationship for the sake of the kids. His wife laughed coldly and added, "You've made your decisions. Now that you live with them, don't expect me to make things easy for you." My sister is upset and has been lying in bed since. I'm taking care of her physical needs, making sure she eats, keeps hydrated, and attends her perinatal visits. But I can't bring myself to comfort her emotionally. I simply don't have it in me right now. I don't believe she's experiencing a psychotic break. I believe she went too far, and now she has destroyed her life. She's trying to make it work. I believe she will face worsening circumstances. I know our town, so she mainly stays indoors right now. I blame her affair partner. He's an evil man with no morals. He couldn't even wait for his son to be released from the hospital before beginning an affair since he felt abandoned by his wife, who was also involved in the disaster. I despise him so much that I wouldn't say I like his existence, but he isn't in my life. I didn't know him, he had no place in my life. I'm outraged with my sister, not only for ruining her own life, but also for causing havoc in mine after I opened my home to her. I'm outraged because she lied to me for 5 years. Most of all, I am repulsed by her selfish behavior. She wasn't duped into this. She was aware from the start that she was a mistress. She knew she was doing something wrong, yet she kept doing it, lying through her teeth the whole time. I don't know who she is anymore. My sister appears to have fallen into the fantasy that her happily ever after is just a misunderstanding away. But I've been clear as day. This is real life, and acts have consequences. She wanted to believe she could make him happy. It is a delusion. The community is also passing judgment on her, which may serve as a painful but necessary wake-up call. That's all for today's video. Thank you for tuning in and following this story. If you appreciated the material or found it interesting, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications so you don't miss any future updates. Please share your opinions in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. Thank you again for viewing, and see you in the future video.